Hi everyone, welcome to this new episode of the India InsurTech podcast. Today we have with us Abhishek, who is the founder and CEO of IndusNet Technologies. Hi Abhishek, welcome to the podcast.
Hi Prashant, thanks for having me here.
Perfect. Would love to get started by having you introduce yourself and your role at IndusNet.
Sure, as you said, I'm founder and CEO of INT. It's a 28-year-old technology service business which has been, serving insurance, banking and pharmaceutical industry for over decades. And my role primarily is, of course, to make sure that the company keeps growing and the company is always profitable and our clients get the value that they pay for. We work for leading insurance companies and insurtech companies in India, in UK and USA. So yeah, I have been consulting insurance leadership on technology as well as on product design for several years, and it has been a very satisfying journey. Thanks for inviting me, Prashant, and I'm more than happy to share my learnings and my views on the topics that we will cover today.
Perfect. All right. For our listeners, would love to understand what is IndusNet's global role in the insurance ecosystem specifically, especially when it comes to technology, the governance aspect, and the compliance aspect of the industry.
Sure. So IndusNet works across four major verticals. One is technology, where we build custom applications and solutions on top of existing core systems of different businesses. It can be banks or insurance company or pharma companies, and we build them, maintain them, run them. Primarily because see the core system basically provides you the basic necessity, and then you build the custom systems on top of it, which actually brings the competitive advantage to the business. So we focus on the competitive advantage of the business. The second function that we work on, the second vertical, is analytics and AI. The third vertical is cloud and cybersecurity, and the fourth vertical is customer experience. So these are four major verticals that we have built over last 28 years being in business. And in insurance, we have mostly worked across software engineering, application engineering, as well as data analytics and cybersecurity and cloud. These are the areas where we have worked for insurance industry. And we have also built our own product, which basically is the core system for managing general agents, MGAs. MGAs is
And
not yet very popular in India, but I'm sure it's going to become very popular in India soon.
okay, mis-selling continues to be a major trust issue in insurance, and of course hampers penetration as well. From your experience, where do you think it commonly originates from? Whether it's distribution incentives, whether it's complexity of the product, or you'd say lack of transparency. We'd like to understand your thoughts on that.
Sure. So this is the problem that I have been trying to address head on. Obviously, earlier I did it in the European market. Now I am trying to do it in the Indian market. So there are a few things which works here. I think what points you mentioned, it's a combination of all of them. But I'll give you an interesting perspective to that. The interesting perspective here is that the bigger challenge is learning, right? How do people understand the product? So product can be complex, but can it be broken down into simple way for person to understand? A person may be mis-selling because of incentive pressure, but can we identify if it is mis-selling for incentive pressure? So
Mm,
identification of a situation like mis-selling plus ability to train the person in a proper way about the product and its features, and also verifying with the customer about their understanding of the product that they have just purchased. If you do these three things, all the three things originate from the basic fundamentals of learning. If you do these three things, I think mis-selling can be controlled to a great extent, but it's easier said than done. It's pretty complex because all these three things relates to people, and people are not as straightforward as IT systems or AI to handle. We all know
right,
that it's the most
correct,
complex. It's the most complex element of any business to handle. So I'm not blaming
correct.
anyone. I'm just saying that we need to focus a lot more on right systems to train, to validate, and to educate.
Got it, got it. So how do you see technology, data, AI, and say compliance first systems, the designing of compliance first systems? How do you see that detecting or preventing mis-selling? We understand that the individual on the ground may not be as transparent, but how do you think technology can solve
So
for this?
yeah, this question I'm answering with a new company that I recently started called Loka Viveka, where we created a outstanding product called MobiLearn to solve this problem across industries, not just insurance, but across industry. Let me break down the challenge of learning in three parts. Number one is completion, right? You start something, but you don't complete because there's a lot of distraction in your life. The second is deeper understanding of what you just consumed. Do you really understand what you consumed, or you don't understand what you consumed? That's a problem number two.
Yeah.
And again, you forget what you consumed. It's scientifically proven that within a month, you forget 80% of what you consumed, right? So you are teaching the
Mm,
guy right. And the company, when you are inducting the guy, you are teaching him right that you don't sell the product for this reason, but you sell this product for X, Y, and Z reason, but not A, B, and C reason. But in a month's time, when he reaches the client's doorstep, he has already forgotten that. So it's not his
right.
fault, not the company's fault. It's just human science, right? And the third problem is company's ability to validate if the learning has actually been done and if the person has actually consumed and understood, and is he actually remembering what he has understood even today. So let me tell you how we have solved it. In MobiLearn, we have given Instagram style content, highly gamified, and we are using social engineering, the same social engineering that Facebook uses to manipulate you. We are using it to make you consume the right content at the right time, in the right way.
Okay. Okay.
The second problem of validation we are solving through AI generated quizzes, which are random, plus reinforced learning. This means the right point that you should be reinforced after 1 month or every 6 months or every 3 weeks, whatever it is the period, it is reinforced on that person. So he again sees that learning content in a 30-second video and he says, wow, thank you so much for reminding me. It's great. And the third is very detailed analytics at the back end, plus tools so that you can actually check if the guy has actually consumed the content and given the test. But even after that, the person may go wrong. So I'll give you a very interesting
Correct.
example. We have just run the system for a company, which was basically making an AI call. So we have also a platform which basically does AI calling, inbound, outbound, intelligent calling, human like voice, everything. Again, within the Indian subcontinent. So you don't have to take data outside India. So it makes a call and it asks them three questions about a given product that they're supposed to sell. Now, if this person is not able to answer those three questions properly, this means that he has forgotten that. And in a
Correct.
field, real time, real life situation, he's actually going to missell, right? So now when this information is fed back into the system, we push back the video of learning back to him again. So it's a
Okay.
cycle. So until and unless we think about systems in cycles and completion loop, most of the systems will remain incomplete. So that is how we are
Right.
looking. We are not saying that we have solved it for this is the best solution, but I believe this is a great solution and we are further working on it deeply to see how we can even do better and better to solve this problem at the root level.
Got it. No, it's very interesting. And I think the kind of gamifications and quizzes that you're putting forward, of course, gives them a reinforced way of learning what they've already learned again and revise it in a way. But what other best practices do you think should insurers and insurtechs adapt to balance the growth aspect of it and the ethical selling along with the regulatory compliance?
No, absolutely. So first thing is basically to standardize the communication that goes to the customer and things which are generally been missold. So we already have the data points that what generally are wrong commitments which has been made in past by our salespeople.
Got it.
Based
Yeah.
on that, we can always create explanatory documents. If we want, we can create explanatory documents and make sure that it is not made to scare the person, but it is made to educate the person. And the moment the person is signing the document, we explain the whole thing in simple English in the document as well, maybe as an ancillary document. And also,
Mm,
once the person has signed, it basically communicates to him in a nice way so that he knows what he has got into. So that tomorrow he doesn't
right.
wake up and suddenly say that
Right.
that is one thing. So this is proactive part. There is a reactive part where you record the content of these conversations and
Yeah.
see and highlight where you think that there might be misselling and then use this entire knowledge to train your people better. The only thing you can do in today's world is to learn about the actual situation on the ground because your workforce is huge and is uncontrolled by you because they are in the field. You don't control what they speak at any given point in time, but you can always listen back to that and then keep training them till things improve and then
Yeah.
incentivize them for ethical practices. Because if companies will not, if the company does not incentivize them for ethical practices, then they are incentivized for unethical practices by default. It's unsaid, but that's the default
Mm,
because that makes more money. So I think these are few things I suggest should be done to improve quality of selling and upholding the ethical practices of organizations.
Understood. Okay. All right. Now, what we'd like to hear from you is one final thought from your side. If the industry had to adopt just one compliance-driven change to significantly reduce the mis-selling, what, in your opinion, should it be?
I think simplifying our product in terms of communication, simplifying the documents we make people sign, and then there should be a centralized way to communicate back to the customer what they have just bought, what they can do, what they cannot do, what are the misconceptions that they may have, and how people have actually benefited from the product and how they have benefited. But in a non hyped way, in simple English, right? Trust me, in many countries, government is pushing organizations like insurance companies to use extremely simple English in their agreements.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in India, our English continues to get more and more complex in agreements, and the agreement is not even read because of this complexity. First of all, it's a 10-page agreement. No, nobody can read that. We can always put the most important points in one page in little bigger letters in a simple English that people can read and understand. This can be translated into every language. So whenever a person is buying a product, he should know that he should read this document, this one pager. After that, of course, there can be the rest of the document also in simplified English. They may have more detailed elements in it, but we don't expect a person to read a 20-page agreement. But can that
Right.
one page actually give him a clear picture what he's getting into? And I think this should be mandated everywhere because ethical selling is not only about insurance, ethical selling is about everything, including the services that we sell as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, of course, and I think that's a very good insight that I'm sure our members can take away from the conversation. But Abhishek, thank you so much for your time. I think we've been able to pack in some really interesting insights from you over the course of the last few minutes of the conversation. Thanks for your time, and we're all cheering for you, India InsurTech Association.
Hey, thank you, Prashant, for having me on this and involving me in a subject which is so close to my heart and I'm so passionate about. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, everyone, welcome to this new episode of the India InsurTech podcast. Today we have with us Abhishek, who is the founder and CEO of IndusNet Technologies. Hi, Abhishek. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Prashant. Thanks for having me here.
Perfect. Would love to get started by having you introduce yourself and your role at IndusNet.
Sure. As you said, I am founder and CEO of INT. It's a 28-year-old technology service business which has been, serving insurance, banking, and pharmaceutical industry for over decades. And my role primarily is, of course, to make sure that the company keeps growing and the company is always profitable and our clients get the value that they pay for. We work for leading insurance companies and insurtech companies in India, in UK, and USA. So, yeah, I have been consulting insurance leadership on technology as well as on product design for several years, and it has been a very satisfying journey. Thanks for inviting me, Prashant, and I'm more than happy to share my learnings and my views on the topics that we will cover today.
Perfect. All right. For our listeners, would love to understand what is IndusNet's global role in the insurance ecosystem specifically, especially when it comes to technology, the governance aspect, and the compliance aspect of the industry.
Sure. So IndusNet works across four major verticals. One is technology, where we build custom applications and solutions on top of existing core systems of different businesses. It can be banks or insurance company or pharma companies, and we build them, maintain them, run them. Primarily because see the core system basically provides you the basic necessity and then you come at the and then you build the custom systems on top of it which actually brings the competitive advantage to the business. So we focus on the competitive advantage of the business. The second function that we work on, the second vertical, is analytics and AI. The third vertical is cloud and cybersecurity, and the fourth vertical is customer experience. So these are four major verticals that we have built over last 28 years being in business. And in insurance, we have mostly worked across software engineering, application engineering, as well as data